Okay, welcome again, everyone, to another exciting evening of the Amman International Film Festival, أول film.
Thank you.
If you find yourself enjoying a film where every character is presented with extraordinary challenges and moral dilemmas, you're likely watching an Asghar Farhadi masterpiece.
Thank you.
His narratives are non-judgmental. There is no black and white. He presents facts and lets the audience draw their own conclusions. Farhadi's dialogue is rich, and his plots are complex yet seamless. Each of his films is like a Russian doll. You reveal a piece and then there is another piece. There is dense layers of storytelling. We are honored to have you with us, Asghar Farhadi. أهلا وسهلا in Amman. Asghar Farhadi is a renowned Iranian director and screenwriter, considered one of the most prominent cinematic voices in Iran and the world. I'm going to quote him here by something he wrote. I reviewed all my screenplays, searching for one common thread amongst them all, and found that the biggest commonality is the question. I started by asking questions, then my questions grew bigger and heavier over time, and their facets multiplied. Our world needs those who ask questions more than those who volunteer to give answers. It needs those who place a question mark before anything, no matter how definitive it appears. And we are here to ask you questions. We will start by the context of where you grew up in Iran. Maybe you can give us a little bit of a brief about the history of Iranian cinema. We know there was a new wave that happened during the Shah time, and then another new wave after the revolution in 1979. So maybe you can give us a glimpse about that period and how it affected you as a filmmaker.
I'm so happy to be here this week. This is first time I'm here in Jordan, and I met a lot of talents here. I had time to talk to them, young generation of filmmaker, and it made me very happy. This is one of the festival I already told to directors and the team of festival. This festival is very important in this region because I see a new generation of filmmakers. They have a lot of things to say, and they are trying, they have eager, and it makes me happy. And I wish and I hope and kind of sure the new cinema that in the world will make noise will be from this region. I mean, whole Middle East and all Arab countries and Turkey and Iran. And so I'm very hopeful. I'm happy to be here first. And the second thing is, always I start with this. Everything that I'm saying here, I'm talking about, is my experience, is not rules. It doesn't mean if I say something about process of filmmaking, writing, there is a rule and everyone should follow that. This is my experience. I believe there is no any rules in art, in cinema. You make your rule. There is a deal, not rule. What does it mean? When we start writing a script, in the beginning of script writing, we make a deal between us, between the filmmaker, we as a filmmaker and audience. Mm-hmm. And we follow this deal till end of the film. There is the only rule that I believe it. So if I say something about the process, it doesn't mean this is the only rule, and if we follow it, if we get to end, we get the result. And your question, I born in Isfahan, very historical city in Iran, and I was there till 17 years old, and then I went to university studying theater, and I was in university for 7 years. And then I went to radio. I had some, as a director, I did some plays at that time. Before that, I made some short films. My first short film was, I was 13 years old as a kid, and I made my first short film, and I'm surprised when I look to my daughter, who is 14 years old now, and I ask myself how I did that one and how the crew trust me that time. So anyway, I made that film, and every year I made a short film with nothing, without any budget. It was just a camera and some 8 millimeters film. There's a long story about that. Maybe you read about this in my interview. So I went to university and studying theater, which was very important for me, and that period shaped my taste and made clear the direction that I should go. And then I went to radio as a playwright, and then TV, and then cinema. So this is the process that I
went through.
yeah. And about Iranian cinema, yeah, as you said, so the history of Iranian cinema is a long history. A few years after France, a camera came to my country by the king. It was like a toy for him. So, and a few years later, an artist made a fiction film, which is still, this is first Iranian film, which is still a very good film. And then they stopped for few years because the situation there, and then started again. And we had a new wave cinema before revolution, and one of that films that they made that time, black and white film, the title is Cow. If you watch my films, The Salesman, I mentioned that film, that's a masterpiece film by Dariush Merjoui, one of the best director, not in Iran, in the world, but as my belief. So, and after revolution, it was not clear they can continue making films or not. And this film, Cow, saved everything, because the head of system watched that film and said, I'm agree with this kind of film. So they started making films, and after revolution, again, was a new wave. And then a lot of good directors, they made very good films. I'm second generation, and now third generation, they are working there, yeah.
So you mentioned your background as in theater, and it's evident in your debut feature film, which is Dancing in the Dust. If we can put the poster of the film. If you can tell us about that influence and how it shaped your decisions in that debut feature film, and if you continued with these decisions in your second film.
So after making that short films, 5 short films, I was sure I'm going to university to studying cinema. And then there was an exam in French language, they say concours. I don't know what's the name here. So we had the exam, and in the exam there was a group, they asked some questions, and I perfectly answered their question. And then they announced they accepted me for theater, and I was so sad, and I said, no, I don't want to go to theater, because I didn't know anything about theaters that time, and I was so upset. And I said, okay, I stop, and again next year I do this exam again to go to cinema. But in a few months that I went to university, after a few months I understood this is the right place that I should go, learning theater. And that period was very good, because I start reading plays, Iranian plays and plays from authors from outside. And I learned a lot, and still till today, it's with me. Without that period, I was not a filmmaker or not good filmmaker. I don't want to say good filmmaker, but it made everything, and it was very important. For example, in my first film, Dancing in the Dust, it's a desert with 2 characters. It's like a set. And it's discovering the personality of these characters, focusing only on 2 characters. So I learned a lot from the plays that I read that time. Maybe on that period and later I didn't know it was subconsciously, and now I know it came from theater. in theater, you have enough time to, as you said, like Russian doll, you discover characters. And nowadays in cinema, you see a lot of characters on the screening, and you cannot discover them. In the end, you don't know who they are. But when in a good place, when you go and you watch plays, in the end you can say, yeah, I know this character. So it comes from theater. And the other thing that was my goal and came from theater was always in classical play, the war and the fight was between good and bad, khair and shar. And I understood by some plays that time, modern plays, the modern tragedy is fight between good and good. And you as an audience, you don't know which one, if in the end be winner, you will be happy. You know? And I kept this very important fact in all my films, because in real life, it's like this. In the end, we cannot say, yeah, he is black, she is white, and the line is this. It's very complicated. And in being, in the storyline, being simple, but making some layers, that same time the story is very simple, but there is a lot of layers. It makes the situation very complicated as our life. So, and a lot of things came from that period in university. So maybe it helps young filmmakers or people who just want to start going to making films. There is a very good option going and reading plays and doing some plays. Yeah.
Great. We found the seeds started growing in your first film about the good and bad, or the absence of good and bad in each character. Each character is three-dimensional. There is no black and white. And then we see it mature more in your second film and third film, Beautiful City, and then Fireworks Wednesday. And then there is something significant about one of the scenes. We will not be able to watch it because of the time. In Fireworks Wednesday, where you stressed on the dialogue and its role in film. Sometimes like you put it, it's a mirror of life somehow. So if you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I should explain about the black and white characters and gray characters. When we say gray characters, it doesn't mean the character does mix of good and bad. No, a character can do very bad things from the beginning till end of the film, but still is gray. Why? Because we give the space and time to this character to understand what's the reason of his or her act and behaviors of during the film. So the gray character doesn't mean a person who sometimes does good things, sometimes bad things. No. It's a kind of giving the reasons of all their decisions to audience. And then we understand this is a bad guy, but we understand why he is bad or she is bad guy. And then we have empathy with the even the bad person, bad character in the film. So sometimes I read and they say, so we should combine some good things for characters, some bad things. No. We have, sometimes I think if we go and we watch a classic film with a good character and bad character and fight between them, and if we remake that film and we give space and time to bad characters, the film will change, and then we have empathy more to bad characters than good characters, Yeah, the cliche is like this. Always before we go to theater to watch the films, the filmmaker made his decision or her decision. So this part of characters, they are bad, and other part, they are good. So let's just watch their fights. And you are just observer. You don't have any you cannot do anything. I tried in my film, in the first part of my career, it was subconsciously, and then I understood it, and I tried to develop this, that the audience who are watching my film should make decision who is the right person, who is not. I don't give this. I have sometimes, but I don't give this information to audience. By this, the audience are part of the film. When you watch, for example, a separation, in the end, you go to home and you think, so she had right to do this with her husband, or the husband had right to say lie to others, and you're thinking which one you should make decision. Always they ask me, you are with the woman or the man? I said, as a filmmaker, I don't want to say to you, this is your responsibility to make a decision. I forgot your question.
No, it's exactly this. It's about characters and how they're three-dimensional.
There is a scene in Fireworks Wednesday, because we don't have enough time. It's a long scene, so we don't screen here. But sometimes filmmakers ask me, what is the tool for characterize, which is very important. In the first look, it looks the dialogue and the line and words are the best tool for describing the character. But I'm not believe it, because always in real life, people, maybe they don't know themselves. They speak to hide something, not to express something, So in cinema, with dialogues and talking to each other, we cannot describe them. The best way for describing the character and showing the real face of the character is putting them in a crisis or in a critical situation, and we see their reaction to them, and then we see, oh, that's the character, that's the real character. Because in real life we have a lot of faces. True. And it needs, and even we don't know,
yes.
A lot of people who talks very calmly, they are in a real life, they are very stressful people. And they hide it by the language, by talking. So for that scene, there is a scene in Fireworks Wednesday. A man is in a corner of the city. He sits with a woman, his neighbor, and they are talking. They have a relationship, but nobody knows. And they talk a lot. And it's a long scene. And then the guy they say bye to each other, and their relationship cuts because the guy has family and kid. And then she starts walking in the street alone without any word and talking, and someone, a guy, it's a Fireworks Wednesday night. We have a fireworks night 3 or 4 days before New Year, and they put bomb in the street, and it's an explosion, which I don't know here you have or not. I think no.
We have fireworks for fun, but not
so it's like an explosion of.
Yeah.
So the woman is walking, and someone comes and put a bomb behind her, and she afraid, and she comes back, and she's alone. And when she comes back, the man who was in love with her, few seconds before, he's not there. He left. Without any dialogue, without any word, we understand the loneliness of this character. Can we see just this part, or maybe it helps?
Do we still have that part ready? But the end of it, the Fireworks Wednesday part.
Yeah, when she maybe. So the point was.
It might be tricky to play it now.
Okay.
It
the
might
point
be tricky,
was.
So let's skip it.
Yeah,
please.
I'm talking about characters. There is a lot of tools for making character as a good or bad or gray character, and always, as a cliche is, the tool is lines and dialogues, which is not true. The tool is first making a situation, critical situation, crisis, and then the reaction will be the tool for describing. I have an example. Let's say different people, they go to an elevator, going from first floor to 15th floor. And the elevator goes to 15th floor and it doesn't happen and they go. We don't know who are there. Maybe during this journey, they talk to each other. Mm-hmm. But can we say we know them? No, it's not real character of them. So, but if the elevator goes and stuck between 8th floor and 9th floor for 90 minutes, their reaction to this cries gives us some real information. Some of them, they're scary. Some of them, they are supporting others. You know, some of them, they are just thinking about themselves. You know, a mother is thinking about the kid. So we need this stalking between two floors in our film. And everything in all my films comes from this situation, critical situation. Mm-hmm. It's a crisis. And then I put some characters there. So in the end, I start the process of writing with the crisis. And then when I find it, I go for characters.
So you said something very interesting about how you characterize your characters and you leave it open for the audience to interpret their judgments and their decisions. We also see that a lot and feel it in your endings. Yeah. You maybe it's a good time now to play a clip from your third film about Ellie. Is it your fourth film? I'm sorry, about Ellie, and then we can talk about how you work with endings.
So, talking about the ending is a,
big topic.
Big topic, and we talk about this. But before that, let's say a memory about this shot. Uh-huh. If you ask me, during whole my career, you just pick one shot. I say this one. Uh-huh. This is when I see this, I say, okay, it looks, I know filmmaking. I love this one. And it happened, yeah. And I didn't do this shot by myself. It was a gift from environment. The story was like this. About Ellie, I wrote the script and everything was ready. And we were in the set to making this film. And the ending was very different than this one. The ending was a scene that all group, they are leaving the villa, and the film, with the closing the door of villa and lock the door, the film was finished. But one day, the crew, they were preparing the next scene, and I was looking to the sea, and there was a car, and the water came under the car, and the car was like this. And I saw it, and I said, oh, this is very good. It was not in the script. Even I didn't think about this. And right away, I said, the crew come here, put camera here, and go there, just try to pull out the car. And they went, and we did 2 takes. And after second takes, I said, cut, this is the final scene of the film. Scene. The point is, filmmaking is not only writing, blocking, working by actors. The most part of filmmaking is watching around yourself. During the set, sometimes the filmmakers, they say, there is a lot of pressure, I cannot see anything, I should, no, it's not true. We have time. In the life, we have time for everything. People, they say we don't have time for that, is not true. We have enough time in our life for everything. Mm-hmm. So during making film in the set, you have time to watch around yourself. There is a lot of things you can in the background, and you can see it and say, oh, this is good. This is like a gift from nature, from God, from whatever you think. Pick it and put in your film. That's the most important thing. When you say your film is very realistic, yeah, the story is realistic, characterized are, but the most important thing is using some details from environment. That's a kind of gift from environment. So that's the story of this shots that doesn't belong to me, but I grab it. But about the ending is very most important part of the film. A very good film with a bad ending is a very bad film. And a bad film or a film with a medium
Average.
quality, average, with a good ending will be very good film. The most important part of the film is ending. And there's a lot of potential. Ending is not just closing the story, For example, about my film, they say in my country is open end, that I'm not agree. Open ending is like there's no ending. You say your story and there is no open. Calculation, it's open everything. No. Here in this kind of film, like a separation, this one, I tried in all my films. There is one ending and two opening. You have one opening in the beginning of the film, and then you ends with the ending scene. And same time, in ending scene, there is a beginning of other story. We look to this shot and we say, so this is ending, everything is finished now. But same time, you are thinking what happened in next step with them when they go back to their home with this all problems, how they follow this life, how they deal with these problems between each other. So this is two beginning and one ending. This is not open ending. And always ending to me is like a puzzle, because I think when we go to watch a film, we watch a film in an emotional way. When we are watching the film, we don't think about metaphors, about signs, about subtext, about layers. We just watch the film with our hearts. And then we go home and we think about all this. So this emotional space makes us ready to think about something important. It's like catharsis. So the ending is a puzzle that links the emotional space of the film to a thought space, thinking space. So my ending always is not too emotional. I try with ending transfer audience from emotional situation, emotional mood to a thinking mood. There's example, there's a memory, maybe it helps you. When I finished the film A Separation, so the film was too sad. And for the ending scene, I decided to put a music which is very popular there, and every night in evening radio they play it for kids to go to bed. But it's very sad. And the scene is about a girl, and between father and mother has problems. So I put that music there, and I had 2-3 test screening, and all audience, like my family, my friends, when they came out from the film, all of them, they were crying, and they couldn't say anything. And everyone, my friends and my assistant, they say, "Oh, that's great. That's great." All of them, they are crying.
You didn't like it.
Yeah. And I said, no, that's not the goal. We don't want to make people cry. We want, they go and they think about this. Sometimes when you cry, you say, that's enough. I don't want to think about this. It's too dark. It's okay. I don't want to think. Pain has some, too much pain. With too much pain, you cannot think. So I changed the music with a light music. And I remember that time, all friends, assistants, and crew, they were very upset. And I said, no, don't do this. People are crying. Why you are doing this? And I did it. And it helped, because I said, I don't want this. The film is very emotional, we need something to transfer this mood to other mood. So the ending to me is a puzzle for transferring. And the other potential in the ending that you can use it is not advice, it's just my experience. Link between ending and the beginning, because people, when they watch a film, right after watching the film, if the film is good and it moves them, they think, what was the beginning? So they go to beginning. And you can make a contrast or link between beginning and ending, like a separation. In the beginning, there is a scene and a couple, they are in front of judge and they are talking about their problems. And the last scene, again, is a judge room, and they are there, and the kid is there. And the shot later, we see that couple, but they are not sitting like a same position. Yes. One of them is here, other one is sitting behind there, and you look, something happened from that couple from there, the same position. And now they are far from each other in different positions. So you can use the beginning and ending, you can make a link. This link can be like a contrast or similarity, something like this. Again, in the salesman is like this. In the beginning is lighting a set of theater play.
Maybe before we move to the salesman, let's watch the two clips of A Separation, just to give the audience some sense of the opening and the ending of A Separation. If you can play them one after the other, no need to wait, that'll be great. So this is the opening.
This is the opening, and so the camera is the shot after this one. And there's some funny things here. Can you pause it?
Can you pause? Can you pause, please?
Sure.
Okay, so the funny things before this shot, you see some ID card.
Yeah, the scanning of passports, ID cards.
And this ID card belongs to characters of my previous film. So I thought nobody understand it, but then right after that they wrote it, that couple is a photo of them and name of them. So here, the camera is in front of them, and the distance between this man and the woman to camera is same. They have same position, and the right part of the image and the left part is equal. It's not that one heavy and cinematically. So here, and we don't know she is right or he is right. Emotionally, we understand both of them. And they are looking to us, they are looking to camera as an audience.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of invitation to audience, judge us.
Yes.
And the whole film is describing the situation and giving this opportunity to audience that make judge. So their position is same here. Go ahead.
Can you keep playing, please?
نه خیلی ایشون نه معتاده نه مشکلی داره، خیلی هم آدم خوب و سالمی.
پس برای چی میخواد الان بگه؟
برای اینکه ایشون نمیخواد با من بیاد.
So this is the last scene. So we put together, and you see links between first one and ending, and the contrast, or there is some question in the beginning. What's her decision? Is about the girl, the daughter, and in the ending we see the daughter. I mean, if we put this piece together, it will be a short film.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is for me. Is always I do this in editing. I put the beginning and ending together, and I see does it work or not.
Does it make a story? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can we go ahead, please?
This is an example, the point is there is a lot of potential in the ending, and we should use it. Ending is very important. When we are writing, always we have beginning and ending. We are thinking what's the direction between beginning and ending. If you have beginning and ending for your story, 3 lines of story, you can find the way. Without ending, you have the beginning and you start, but without ending in the process of writing, you cannot write because you don't know where is the distance, where are you going. You need every day that you start writing the pages, you need to know, I'm going to where. Maybe you don't use this ending when your script is done, but every day you can change it. Every day for writing, it happens for me. Even today was writing on my next one, and I said to myself, so where is ending? So let's go.
Let's go towards
I
that.
change in ending every time to find the best one. Maybe during set, like about Ellie, but we need that one, and there is a lot of potential there.
So A Separation is the film that reached us. I think we started, About Ellie became famous, but this was what made your name very popular. And you got an Academy because of this film. How did it feel like? Did you expect it?
No, not at all. Not at all. There is a story, maybe you read about this. Can I tell that story about this? Maybe it's useful for... I made About Ellie, and it was very successful outside of my country. It was in Berlin Film Festival and got prize there, and the international distributor were there. And then I started writing this one. And I finished the script, and I sent the script, as always, to friends and family who I trust them. And then all of them, they said, that's very good, but it's a very local one. And after that success, you should do something bigger. And why you are doing this one? And I said, so we did that one, and let's do a local one, and we have time to do a bigger one later. So my belief was this is a very local film, and nobody outside of my country will watch it.
Understand it.
I made this film with a low-budget film. There's a lot of funny story about making this film. So even when we finished the film, I didn't put subtitle for that because I was sure, and there is no need to subtitle. It's Iranian film. By the chance, a woman from Berlin Film Festival came to my country to select films for Berlin. She came every year for selecting film for films for Berlin. She called me and said, your previous film was successful there. I want to watch your new one. And I said, it's not for you. You don't understand the film. And she said, I'm here, and just I watch beginning of the film just to see what is this. And I said, there is no subtitle. She said, I have my translator. She will translate me online. So they came to my office and started watching the film, and I was in other room talking with my friends. And when the film finished, she came and said, we want this film. And I said, are you sure? Because it's that part with the woman worker is very local. She said, I understood everything. So we started putting subtitle, and the film went there, and it was very huge success there. Again, the point is, art is not kind of mathematics and calculating. If in the beginning I said to myself, so I want to make a bigger film, more success, the film was not like this. The problem these days is with filmmakers everywhere, not here, in my country, everywhere, the most of energy goes for calculating something that we don't know what happened in the future. We want to do a film very universal. We want to do a film that all critics say, oh, that's great film. In films and cinema and in art, nobody can do it. Filmmaking is like driving. No one can say, I'm good driver. With a small accident, you are not good driver.
Yes.
So when we start, it means we don't know what happened. In the first step, our heart says to us, there's something moves me, let's do it. So it's better we start with our subconscious in the beginning, without any calculating, without thinking about audience, about critics, about others, and then we go to a process.
And so after a separation, you went to France, to Paris, and you made The Past, a film. And you told me it was adapted to a play. And then you went back to Iran and made The Salesman.
Yeah.
And The Salesman, you got a second Academy Award for it. So if we would think of directors who got more than one Academy Award, we would think of Vittorio De Sica, René Clément, Federico Fellini, Ingmar Bergman, Akira Kurosawa. But then with this, and it's related to what you just said, you never had a goal of having accolades or awards for your films.
Yeah, in the beginning of my career, success was very good, and I enjoyed of success in my first, second, and third film. And then little by little, something else was get more important than award. I don't want to say it's not important, but it's not gold. It's a kind of gifts, you know. My example always with friends is we get married, we find kids, and one night per year there's a ceremony for our kids as a birthday,
yes.
And friends, they bring gifts. We don't get married and we don't have kids because that gifts.
Yeah.
We love being parents, and then they bring gifts, and it's okay, we enjoy of it, but this is not gold. Some people that they make films for awards, it's like they are having kids for that
Having
ceremony. Only that
presents, yes.
Nowadays, the important thing and enjoyable thing is learning about myself through my films. When I come here, these days I try to talk to all peoples here to understand what they think about my films and to know myself and learning about my opinion is this, we are here in this life to know ourselves, who I am. This is big question that there's a very good documentary from Kieślowski, and his question is, who are you? And nobody can say who I am. It's most important question. We are living with this body, with ourselves, whole life, and we don't know who is this body, who is this person. So nowadays, before was not like this. Nowadays, I'm 52, and nowadays, cinema, true cinema, I'm trying to know who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's watch the two clips of. No, first we will watch the ending.
Let's say something funny about that scene in the separation.
Salesman.
Yeah.
A separation. Sorry.
Yeah. So in the scene when the girl, my daughter, is in front of the camera, in the end, the camera is moving too much.
Mm-hmm.
It was not my request of my DP. So we did this shot just one take, without any rehearsals, because my daughter told me. She didn't told me. She said to my assistant, "Can you ask him? We don't do any rehearsals for this shot." And my assistant said, "No, not at all. He will be angry." And she said, "No, try it." And my assistant came to me and said, "She doesn't want to just do a take." And I said, "Okay, we do a take, and then we do rehearsals, and she'd be happy." And she did this take. Without
just to clarify if anybody missed it, so the girl in A Separation is Mr. Farhadi's daughter.
Ah, yeah, she's my daughter.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, and then it was first time we were watching her acting in front of camera, and I was looking to a small monitor, and the camera was moving too much. And then I looked to DP and I saw him. Maybe you saw it in YouTube. There is a backstage of this scene. And she was crying and keeping him not to move. But it was like this. And because the camera is moving.
It's moving, yes.
Yeah. Again, something happened in the set. You didn't think about this. It's like a gift and you use it. And every time I watch this scene, this movement reminds me like crying and your shoulder is shaking. So, yeah, now it's the most important of filmmaking, directing in the set is finding these small things.
Mm-hmm. Shall we watch the last scene of the salesman
Yeah.
first? So
So here is again the link between ending. If you look to the beginning of this film, there is a scene in a theater stage, and someone.
maybe we can play it as you talk, if you don't mind.
Yeah. You have it.
We
So-
have it if while you're describing. We can talk.
Someone is lighting on a stage, putting light on different part of a set. That's a house, and yeah. So, is a part of the house. The film starts with bed, and again lighting on other part of the house, which is not real house, is on stage. So, and in the end, there is a link. The character goes and turn out the light, and that two chair is like this chair. Turn out light on the chairs in the last scene. So, it looks. We start with theater and play, and we go to real life, and then we come back and see the real life is like a play again. Yeah, it's lighting, and we play with this lighting in the end again. And the other thing,
Can we put down the volume a little bit?
yeah. So the other thing about the ending of this film is the beginning, the last scene that we have now. It's a couple. They are looking to each other, but through
The mirror.
mirrors. It looks they are looking each other, but they are not looking each other, and it looks they are getting old. You know, they are with this story. They are not same as the beginning. They got old with this crisis that happened for them. It looks they are together, but they are not together. You know, we don't understand what's the emotion. This isn't what's the emotion between them. This is an ending, but there is a potential. There's a beginning hidden there that we don't know what happened for them in future. They will stay together. They divorce or not. Actually, the ending of this film again was not like this. When I finished the film, the ending was the shot that the woman is walking on the street and the ambulance is behind her, and she's crying. So that on that part, the music came up, and the title. And as always, when I finish the film, I have test screening with not for critics, just for friends and family.
People you trust.
People I trust, and they are honest with me. So I did it, and my wife came. I was there. My wife was there. She's a director too, and my editor. And she watched the film, and she said, "I don't like the ending. The ending is not good." I said, it was shocking for me because I was too tired after 2 years working, and in first screening, someone says, "No, it doesn't work." So I was so upset. I said, "No, it's very good. It's very moving." And I said, "No, you should do something because it's too dark, and it's ending. There is no beginning there." And so the everything was done. We couldn't do anything. And already can accepted the film with that ending, so I didn't need to change anything. So we went to home, and it was a very bad night that night. We didn't talk to each other. Yeah. And then tomorrow she said to me, "There is a scene close to ending. That
scene.
You can change the place of that scene, and you can put in the end." It's more powerful. It's less moving, but more powerful. And I did it 2 days later, and it was very easy. Everything was set. So again, it's filmmaking. You should watching people. You should listening to people to see what's the best one. Even with the, as I said, the film was already in Cannes in competition, and I
You
could send
didn't,
it.
yes.
There's another story. Maybe it helps you. My second film, Beautiful City. Maybe some people they watched it here. Is not known as the other ones. I made my second film, Beautiful City, and the film was in Iranian festival, Fajr Film Festival, in competition. And that time I was a young filmmaker, and it was very successful inside Iran. And they wrote a lot of good things about the film. But 2-3 months later, I watched again the film, and I said, "Oh, I don't like the ending." But the film was already released in theaters, in festivals, not in public theaters. So, and the day after that, I called to my producer, who passed away a few months ago. He was such a nice person. And I said, you know, I'm so sad about this film. I don't like the ending. I said, wow, it's next film, you can do it. This is our. And few hours later, he called me again and he said, so what do you mean if you don't like it? Do you want to do something? And I said, yeah, I can shot again something else. I have an idea. And he said, come to my office. And we talked, and we gave me money, camera for 1 day. And I shot again the ending that you are watching now. I shot it few months later. The house that we shot, I needed for that scene, the owner said, no, you cannot come in my house. Don't give it. So we make a set, same as that one. And we did it, and we put in the end. And now I'm so happy about that ending.
The ending.
Because I said to myself, so if I don't touch it, for all my life, I hate this film. So it's better you do something. And that friend who helped a lot for ending. All this means the ending is most important part.
I want to go back to something you said about the situation and the crisis and how it inspires your work. Now, since we watched clips of 2 of your films, A Separation and The Salesman, can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind those 2 films? I know The Salesman is inspired, not literally, by Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. And I was wondering how, for example, if we see a situation and we see the crisis in it, is it a good idea to literally adopt that situation? And how you dealt with the situations that inspired your work?
I think it's a different way for different writers. Some writers, they start with a character who is interesting for them, and they start research or thinking about that character, and they start writing. Some other writers, they start with a crisis. Before making decision about these 2 options, there is one step before that. The first idea, which is very rough, even you cannot say in words. There is some emotion, and this is the first step that comes from your subconscious, from your heart. So if, for example, in a separation, as I said a lot of times everywhere, the beginning was an image. A man is he's helping his father to take a shower and putting his head on the shoulder of father and crying. This was like a image in my mind for a long time, without thinking about maybe I can do something with this image. It was like personal image that we have all in our life.
In our lives, yes.
So and I understood this image comes from a memory that my brother told me. My grandfather was when I was a kid, he was like my role model. Yeah, and I loved him as a normal guy, but he was such a interesting person. So in all family, they respect him as a nice person and kind person. So he got Alzheimer, and I was far from him in other city, and my brother was taking care of him all the time, and took him to shower. And one day, when grandfather passed away, he told me a story. He said one day I went to shower, take a shower for him, and I tried to take out his pants, and he said, no, don't do this. And he was looking to me and said, why you are here? And because he was naked there. And he said, I couldn't, I put my head on his shoulder and I cried under the shower. And this and this image stayed with me for a long time. And one day I said, I should do something with this image. And the first point of the separation was that image. And the process was like this. I asked myself, so if I want to make a film about this image, so who is this man? Why he takes his father to shower by himself? Where are his family? Does he have wife? Is there any problem? Why is silence? Maybe they are outside. Why they don't have nurse? And all these questions that took maybe 6 months, one year, get me some answers. When I say answers, these answers didn't come from my mind and imagination and thinking. It was something came from my heart without any reason, So, and I put all these answers together. That part of that answer was not useful. I put out, and I put the rest, and I made 3 lines of story. And in all my films after that, I did this. So now I have a story that there is a beginning and there is an ending and 3 lines that I can say these 3 lines to my friends by calling to friends. I have a story. This is it.
Yes.
And then, so in these 3 lines, you have crisis, you have condition, you don't have characters. You know there is a guy, but you don't know who is him or the woman. So I start with this situation, and then I put characters in this situation. And then their reaction to this situation gives me this direction that, so this guy is a guy who is calculating about everything. This guy sometimes can say lie. This guy is a kind of, in a personality, is a kind of guy who thinks always he has right. And he's the guy that people, they should accept him. And there is a woman that is in front of him. And this is a person that he wants to stay and fight with problems. And in front of him, there is a woman. When someone blocks the road, her road, she goes another way. She doesn't stay to fight. And the problem is this: she wants to leave because she doesn't want stay and fight, and the man wants to stay and fighting with the situation, with the condition. And there is a scene, maybe we can see it. I described this situation on that scene. There is a stairs, and woman is coming up on the stairs, and the 2 guys are taking a piano, and they block her way. And they say, they have an argument because there is a problem. They say this is 2nd floor, and it says now this is first floor, and they have argument. And she says, okay, I accept, I pay, just open my way, my road. So it looks, she is this kind of person. Instead, if the man was there, he stayed there and fighting with them, and he didn't pay anything to them because he didn't believe they have right. So the process starts with my heart subconsciously in the beginning, and then when I develop these 3 lines to 1 pages, again developing the crisis, the situation, and from here gradually I go to consciously, I go to mathematics, put everything, make links between everything. But the most important thing is the first part that comes from heart.
Great. I want to just discuss your last film, and maybe we can take some questions from the audience. Your last film, A Hero. Since you're talking about inspiration and what you do with your films, what were you trying to do with a hero? Like with the way you opened it, with the character itself, and the way it ended?
Yeah, it's a this film is a little different from my other films. I had this idea about making hero in this kind of society, that like my society. There is a play by Bertolt Brecht, Galilei. I don't know what's the title here. Galilei is wrote by German playwright Bertolt Brecht. And there is a line there that says, poor society that they need hero. Or poor people. Poor society or poor people who they don't have hero. More poor society or people that they need hero. So this was the first idea that I was thinking about, making hero in society. These days happens a lot everywhere. Someone says something and it become a hero in one night, and tomorrow everyone putting light on him or her, and 2 days later they forget him or her, and there's a tragedy there. So it was the idea, and I started reading some news about them, and yeah, I made this. So it's and again, there is part of this film is about social media, that they are very important to making hero nowadays. Again, here there is a beginning and ending, but I'm talking about the ending. That film was very sad film. And I thought I need some hope for the ending, some light. So in the directing, you see the guy is going back to the jail. The beginning is the guy is coming back. The guy is released from the jail, and in the ending there is a link. He goes back to jail again, and the film is journey from that to there. Yeah. Can we continue? Or we can continue. I love it.
You always wanted to hear the adhan, right?
I love it. But so we can. Okay. So, but the ending was so sad, and I tried to do something because it was emotional. So in the end, we see the guy is waiting to go inside, and it's very dark. And same time, there is a door we see outside with a lot of light, and at the same time, other guy is going out and hugging his wife. He's releasing. It's repeat again, and it gives us dark and light and gives us some hope. Yeah.
Shall we play it? Play the ending? Can we still play it when there's an ending?
So here again, if we go and we watch the first scene, in the first line, first dialogue of this film is, "What's your name?" And it says Rahim Sultani, and here it says again Rahim Sultani. But this character, his name is Rahim Sultani in the beginning, is not same character as the first one. He had this all difficulties and journey, and it looks he's another one. Another person. So we can use this potential for ending again.
Great. So we have all the time with you, but we're sorry this is coming to an end. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
This
you
is
all.
very valuable.
Thank you.